Hey, skeptics. I see you, I hear you, and believe it or not, I was you. Growing up in Minnesota, we were a little behind, and so I didn't even hear the term naturopathic medicine or naturopathic physician until I was well into my 20s. And that played a role in my journey, finding this fabulous career path. But I will say, growing up, I never really got concerned about the placebo controlled double blind studies, but things did have to make sense to me. They had to feel right, look right, smell right, and really make sense. One plus one had to equal two. Well, fast forward, and I was in med school and soaking up as much knowledge as I could. And then I had my little breakdown, or big breakdown rather, that I've talked about in some other videos. And it was homeopathy that completely changed and saved and transformed my entire life. Ironically, at the time, it was this remedy, which I've actually done videos on, Ignatia. But before that experience, I dabbled and I had a little tiny healing experience. I had some really itchy legs that I later found out was diet related. But I would scratch, and a certain homeopathic remedy did help. And I thought, there's something to these little sugar pellets, even though I didn't fully comprehend and understand. So I was a skeptic with homeopathy because how can something so foreign that has potentized dilute medicine in without the original substance, how can that work, right? Beyond Flat Earth Medicine, I highly recommend it. It's written by an ND-MD, Dr. Dooley, and if you're interested in learning more, I highly recommend that, or working with a homeopathic physician. But let's continue on. So that was one thing that I was like, nope, homeopathy's not for me, it doesn't make sense. And now I use it every day in practice and have seen miracles upon miracles, personally and professionally. Then fast forward, and I was a patient of NET, or neuroemotional technique, first before I became certified and was a practitioner. And I remember my first experience. I was in this counselor's office working on some issues, and she was learning this technique and said, hey, do you mind if we do this? And it involves applied kinesiology or muscle testing. And I remember going, this is crazy. She's pushing too hard on my arm. That's why my arm is going weak. And this is bizarre, but I was intrigued enough. So then I went to someone else who was very experienced, and my mind was blown. What I had always thought happened and affected me later in life, say around 7 or 8, actually happened at 5. And it was NET that opened my mind to thinking that, oh, I was so smart. My conscious mind had it all figured out in my chronological age and where my issue stemmed. And no, my subconscious was the boss, as it always is. And so that made me a non-skeptic, I guess, to NET. Then fast forward, and a doc I was working with was all about gemstones, crystals, gems. And I thought, great for her. I'm not really interested, and a little too woo-woo for me. And then I asked her some questions one day, and she was talking about mother of pearl. This is mother of pearl, and how it can help feel like a mom's hug, very comforting to the nervous system, may help with sleep issues. And I thought, what do I have to lose? I would love to work on the sleep issue. And I was amazed how mother of pearl actually helped. And then I went down that rabbit hole, learning about and using gems, and have been happily surprised. So moving on, then I came across flower essences. My favorite is Lotus Way. This is joy juice. Who couldn't use a little joy juice in their life? And once again, I thought, okay, woo, that's nice. And now the more I learn and the more results I see with patients, the more I realize that I just need to get out of my own way. And when patients are in this phase, which honestly, thank goodness, I don't really work with patients like myself, like I was, which is really lovely. They are trusting and open-minded. And when they see results, of course, they are going to be on board even more, right? But what I will challenge you to do is, 1, get out of your own way. 2, no matter how smart you are, that is conscious intelligence. The subconscious are our underlying beliefs, thoughts, actions, And in my mind, if something didn't make sense to me, then it couldn't work. It couldn't be that great, right? So I had to get over that limiting belief and also have my own experiences of things that did work. And when they worked, then I was no longer a skeptic. So I will challenge you and your thinking if you are a skeptic. Not the end of the world, but if you want to heal and what you're doing isn't working, maybe it's time to change some thoughts and be a bit more open minded.